Are we switching?
No, just do the rest of yours.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. I'm Sean Anderson, Most Valuable Podcast, and today we are doing our NFL draft needs. We got the Dallas Cowboys up, the 28th pick in the NFL draft after losing to the Packers on that crazy Hail Mary. But to get in the mood, to really feel like I'm a Cowboys fan, to really get into the mind of a Cowboys fan, I think I need to go to Jerry World. Am I there? Ricky, is it working? Am I there? Okay, cool. Green screens are so cool. Dallas Cowboys, who are you going to address in the NFL draft? You got the 28th pick. You got one second rounder, one third rounder, one fourth rounder, one sixth rounder, and two seventh rounders that you can use to go out these three top positions that you need in the NFL draft. First up is defensive end. You did sign Demontre Moore, who was last with Seattle, but I don't think he's going to be a top guy. He hasn't proven that he can be a top guy in his, I think, 3 years in the NFL. He's not a guy that's going to go out and get a ton of sacks for you. You haven't really had a guy that can be a force on the edge attacking the quarterback since DeMarcus Ware. David Irving showed a lot of promise in the games against the Bucs and the Lions, but outside of that, he was completely quiet. So you need to go and get a defensive end, a guy that can get after the quarterback, and a guy that can really get you some pressure off the edge, because if you got pressure off the edge and a guy that can get pressure off the edge consistently, maybe Aaron Rodgers doesn't escape the pocket like he did on that Hail Mary to Jared Cook. Maybe you guys are in the Super Bowl. Maybe you guys are winning the Super Bowl because you need some defensive edge help. You need some guy that can get to the passer, because there's some great quarterbacks in the NFC East. There's some great quarterbacks in the NFC. And with your team, how it did last year, you're definitely going to be a team that's going to be in the playoffs, and pressure and pressuring the quarterback is such a key component of football. So getting a guy that can go and do that with your first overall pick, or 28th pick in the first round, is going to be the biggest need for the Dallas Cowboys, because you need someone who can get off the quarterback. And the second need for the Dallas Cowboys is cornerback. You lost Morris Claiborne. He gone. You look at the outside, and you recently signed Nolan Carroll. You also have Orlando Scandrick, but you need some depth there. You need some guys that can really step up and be, a shutdown corner for you. Because you look at that Packer game again. I hate to bring it up for you Cowboys fans, but it just seemed like Aaron Rodgers could do whatever he want, and maybe that was because of the pressure and the lack of pressure that the Cowboys were getting, but you need some cornerback help, especially with Morris Claiborne leaving and going to the Jets. So getting a guy at cornerback in the second and third round can definitely help your team, because it doesn't hurt to have depth, and it doesn't hurt to take a chance at a guy, because you look at what the Seattle Seahawks did in the fifth round, getting a guy like Richard Sherman, the undrafted free agent Malcolm Butler. You can find some really great corners deep in the draft, and I think getting a guy who can step up, because Scandrick's getting older. Nolan Carroll hasn't really been a shutdown corner in a while, hasn't been a number one corner in a while. I think they need to get some guy who can show his speed off. And you have two older cornerbacks, getting some youth and getting some guys to play behind him, I don't think would hurt this Dallas Cowboys team at all. And finally, the last position of need is offensive tackle. Doug Free retired, and you look at this Dallas Cowboys offensive line. It's the best in the NFL. No one's saying it's not. But I think there's some old saying about if there's a crack in the wall's going to crumble, or some shit like that. I don't know what it is, but this is a massive wall. This is the best part of this Cowboys team, is this offensive line. You need to address that offensive tackle, because if there is one weak side and you're not addressing that, and you're letting the position that Doug freed up just kind of go to waste there, you're going to have people attacking that side, and that's where holes for Zeke is going to close up, and Dak is going to get pressured a lot from that side. So getting a guy who to shore up that offensive line, to shore up that offensive tackle spot, would be something of need. And especially, if you get a guy in the third round or fourth round, it's not going to hurt this team, because you have Zach Martin and all these great guys on the line that can really hide his flaws. But you need somebody that can at least be a stopgap there, because Doug Free, while he was the weakest part of the offensive Cowboys line, he was still a valuable part of one of the best offensive lines we've seen in such a long time. So the three needs for the Dallas Cowboys: defensive end, cornerback, and offensive tackle. That's just my opinion. But tell me in the comments down below, where do you think the Dallas Cowboys should attack in the NFL draft? Do you think they should be going cornerback over defensive end? Tell me in the comments down below. And also any specific players that you want to see on the Dallas Cowboys. But I'm Sean Anderson. Don't forget to subscribe to Most Valuable Podcast. Also, don't forget to check out patreon.com/Most Valuable Podcast down below. And we will see you next time.